Yeah.
Fuck a pigeonhole, I'm a night owl, it's a different mode. Bro, think he John Wayne, I bought him Yellowstone.
Test run because that is professional. The hottest setups for 2026 is here. This is what we're going to cover in this video. And if you guys are coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Cameron and I've been trading for 8 years. I run a Discord community where we focus on options and I also trade futures. We're going to cover MicroStrategy, SPY, silver, and gold in this video because these are the setups that are moving. All right. And we focus on momentum because we don't want to wait a whole year to make money. We want to make money on what's moving right now. Yet also keep a good positive mindset so we could keep our gains instead of blowing our account. So we're going to cover a lot of things in this channel, such as technicals, mindset, risk management, just pretty much everything related to trading. There's so much that goes into it. It's hard to choose just 1, 2, or 3. So without wasting you guys time, we are gonna hop straight into one of the hottest setups that's moving right now, which happens to be MicroStrategy. Right. So going back to my Discord community, I called out MicroStrategy yesterday at 2:21 p.m. when it was at 171. All right, pretty much $170. And I said MicroStrategy is ready for the push-in. And the next day, aka today, we opened up and ran to 190. So from 170 to 190 in pretty much less than a day is pretty good money right there. All right, so we're going to analyze this setup and see why exactly it was on my watch list. And we could see this monthly chart, aka time frame, and each candle represents 1 month. I'm going to zoom into this section because this is what matters right now. You got October. That's when you've seen the big breakout. All right. Now, if we look to the left, I'm going to draw this demand zone right there. And you can see how the price pulled back over the last few months, just been dropping, and then dropped right into the demand zone. And we could see a nice green candle indicating some movement to the upside. So we're going to drop down to the lower time frame, like the 4 hour, because this is going to give us more details to what's going on. And you can see the 50 EMA, right? These moving averages helps kill a lot of noise. All right. So when the price is above the moving average, it's bullish. When the price is below the moving average, we're bearish. So it's a pretty easy way to understand if the price is in an uptrend or a downtrend based on one simple line. But we're using more than just a line to analyze these setups, such as the demand zone, which I just showed you guys before. All right, so let's also look at the volume. Right, look at the volume on the bottom. This tells you how much transactions are happening. You can see it's increasing day by day. Huge volume this morning, but if we was able to spot the increase yesterday, you could have held a position for that momentum to the upside today. All right, so let's drop down to the 15 to give us some more details. But before we do, we're going to draw a little bit. We're going to draw this resistance to the left, and you could see right about there in the afternoon yesterday is when we broke outside the range, which is a big reason why this setup gave us some good momentum or continued momentum, because that's what we want, right? We don't want to see the price popping up and then dropping right back down. All right. So what we do here is analyze these setups for the highest probability of continued momentum so we can make continued money, right? You don't want to just hop into something and it reverses against you. All right. So notice I called it out about 171 and then we open up here at 178, pop straight up to like 190 within the first 15 minutes. And then that was your chance for the most of the day until about 12 o'clock when the price started to drop. Now, does this mean MicroStrategy is over? I have no idea. All right, I'm not gonna play games with you guys, act like I'm a genie. All I'm doing is reading the price action and the way the market moves fundamentally, such as if we're in an uptrend, we should see higher highs and higher lows. If we're in a downtrend, we should see lower highs, lower lows, and a couple other things that I could tell you guys. But rather than tell you, you guys could come into my free community and get some of these free tips, free knowledge, and this will help you tremendously. Also have a free beginner's guide. If you come on in for the first time, you are gonna be able to just grab this guide, and it's gonna help you understand the basics if you're just starting out. All right, so lots of resources, no excuses, and we're gonna continue with the next hottest setups. Now, this one isn't really necessarily the hottest setup, but it kind of is. This is the SPY, aka the overall market. So we're gonna zoom out, take a look at the weekly. Let's see what we've been doing all year, all last year. Pretty much been going up. All right, so 2025 is right about here, and 2026 is right there. So this is your whole year. We pretty much went down and then we went up. Now we're at all-time highs. Okay, so that's why I say it's a hot setup, because we're at all-time highs. You can't really, can't hate on that, right? So let's see what's going on. We got this little range. Price is making higher highs, higher lows, and today we have our first breakdown of these lows. All right, now we're gonna go back to the Discord, because this is where I share a lot of gems. Okay, now in my team chat room, all we do is analyze the SPY, because this is what controls most of the market. So if you understand what the SPY is doing, you have a huge edge on what most of the stocks are doing as well. All right, cool. So this is where I told the team the price could pull back and we could potentially head lower to 691. This is when the price made all-time highs at 697, and I gave the reasons for exactly why I believe we should do so. All right, notice the arrow. If you guys come on in, you could do all the reading that you want. All right, but I do give lots of details of what's going on, and you can see that I'm just telling the team how the price is reacting to the levels as we go, because things could change, and I want to also let the team know how to adapt to the price as we're moving. So later on that day, we could see the price did drop to that 691 area that I mentioned before, and the next day we dropped all the way to 688. All right, so given a lot of details in this setup inside the Discord, and later on in the morning I told the team, hey, we got to bounce at this demand zone. Money to be made both ways. Also watch the demand zone on the 4 hours. So let's go to the chart and see what this looks like. All right, so this is what I was looking at. I seen this demand zone right there on the 4 hour. I'm going to zoom on in to the 15 and see what we got. So notice how the price did bounce initially on this 15-minute time frame, and then we went a little bit lower, and then we bounced at the bottom of this demand zone, came back down, we bounced again at the bottom of this low of day here, and then we pushed on up to new highs. Now this is some wacky price action, but if you knew how to draw one simple zone from a higher time frame, you could have had multiple opportunities to make some moolah. All right, so heading into tomorrow, what could possibly happen? Being that the price is in the range, all right, let's draw that range for you guys so you can see. The easiest range to draw is the high day and the low day. Now, because we are inside this range, we could just chop back and forth, right? But if we do break above it, we could head up to 695 and potentially 697, which would be right at the all-time highs. And if we break below 686, then we could potentially see 684 and 682, and last but not least 679. All right, so screenshot it, take a picture, whatever you want to do. These are some good levels to pay attention to. And of course, you could use your moving averages and supply and demand zones in between. All right, now we can't stop this video unless we talk about one of the hottest setups of the year, which is silver. Okay, a lot of noise, a lot of news around silver. So we're gonna back up. We're gonna go to the weekly chart. This is 2020 when silver was about 18, 17, $10. Dang, I didn't know it was that low. But long story short, we made a huge run. Okay, so 2025, this is when I went to Bali and I actually made a silver ring. I gotta find it, but if you go to my Instagram, you could see the video of me making this silver ring from scratch, which was pretty damn cool, right? So this was June 2025, and the price of silver was about $35. We are sitting at the price of $84 on silver right now. So I'm not gonna lie, I've been calling this out for a while, and it's been giving us chance after chance to make money. So shout out to silver. And if we're talking silver, then you gotta throw some gold in the conversation as well. Okay, so we're gonna back up and see what's the comparison. Let's just clear this chart and give us some good clean candles to look at. Notice this has been on a tear. 2024, it's been up. 2025, it's been up. 2026, it's going up. Now notice how the price has been using this 9 EMA this entire time, right? So if you held this position, just one indicator by itself could tell you to keep on holding this position. All right, why? Because the price is sitting above this blue line and it never got below it, right? So this is the weekly time frame. So remember to use the right time frame. If you're looking at the 4 hour, you can see the prices going up, down, and all over the place with the blue line. So be mindful of the time frame that you're looking at. But MicroStrategy, the S&P 500, silver, and gold are some of the hottest setups that we have. And I'm gonna leave you guys with a bonus. All right, this is something that I called out in my community, and you guys could join. The link is in the bio. You would get access to stocks like these for free, where I called this one out, I believe this was Monday. CoreWeave, CRWV, and I include my screenshots so you guys don't gotta go looking all over the place in case you're working. You could simply just click, and you could also get a nice description of what I'm seeing. So I said it broke a range on a 4 hour using this moving average that I like to use, and we can see some more upside. This is when CoreWeave was at $80. So let's take a look at CoreWeave. The reason why this was on my watch list is because it was a crazy mover back in 2025, which was last year. So this setup isn't even a year old. All right, now let's bring out a whole new drawing set, because we could see how crazy this move was back in April. We started from $33 and then we went straight up to almost 190, right? From $30 to 190 is wild. All right, we pretty much kept on dropping and dropping until we reached 65. And we could describe this in many ways. We have a double bottom, right? We got some higher lows, yet still under this 50 EMA, which is something I would look at in terms of being bearish, right? But because we have these higher lows, we could expect a higher high than this one, which is what we got this week. All right, so we're going to zoom in to some of that action on the 15-minute chart. So yep, CRWV was one that I called out when it was around $80, and it shot straight up to about 88 when I alerted the team that it made a move, and then it continued moving up. Now, how could we have participated in the further momentum? Using that 9 EMA, that blue line, as usual, you can see it held some support, and then it pushed up another for another run. So the next day we did pull back to a level that we have. I could draw one of these good old demand zones right there, and you can see that's where the price actually bounced and gave you a nice move, 87 to about 93, which in the options world is some pretty big money if you understand how to use options. Right, it came back to this same zone, 87 to about 89. So this zone is looking pretty strong. Not saying it's invincible, but we could see some continuation on CoreWeave if we get above this 93 level, and if we get below the $85 level, then we could retrace back down to about 81. All right, so that's enough for today. We're gonna come back in the next video with some more gems, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.